Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now, the video that follows, those of you who have read the introductory text you weren't misreading, is going to be a bit of a departure from what I normally do. Now this was all triggered, let me start from the beginning. In this short clip, I am going to give you some pointers on how you, fellow gamers, can introduce kaiju or Godzilla or whatever to your games relating to the Malaya campaign, especially those which are hex-based map war games. Now, I suppose I ought to explain, oh yeah, by the way, Oscar the cat is here. I decided that due to the non-serious nature of this video, I was not going to chase him away, as is my wont. So he will be wandering in and out, either ignoring me or offering learned commentary as we go. So back to the beginning, this all started when a friend of mine offered a slightly off-the-wall but very entertaining comment on one of my other posts on a different game about the fall of Malaya and Singapore, hinting that, you know, bringing along kaiju would be kind of fun. And at the time I thought, yeah, very funny, yeah, whatever. But then the more I thought about it, I thought, actually, yeah, not that I've seen many of these films, but using Godzilla in this would be a wonderful bit of randomness. So I've been mulling over some totally half-baked ideas on how you would do this, and I think, as ever with these things, simplicity is key. So I am using Pacific Battles Malaya, because I've been using this game quite a lot recently to illustrate, well, mainly to try and fix it more than anything. But I think it can serve as a decent example of how you go about doing this. So, my simple rules for introducing Godzilla. First of all, keep the critter neutral. Don't just give him to the Japanese because he's a cultural icon, because that would be massively unfair. And I should point out that in most of the videos he's busily smashing up parts of Japan. So his loyalty is not to the Emperor. Let's put it that way. How do you introduce the guy to Malaya? Having play tested this a few times, yes, I actually do seem to have that much spare time on my hands at the moment. I have found the best way is to keep it random. You can either have him there at the beginning of the game or roll for variable appearance. I would recommend just choosing what you'd rather do depending on the level of craziness you want to go for, and just go with that. The next step, if I just orient myself north-south, is how do you make the fellow appear? Again, I think a random dice roll is the best way to do it, to eliminate favoritism. Most hex-based war games have numbered hexes, so you can easily create a system whereby you can either generate zones of random appearance or even plonk him in the middle of the map all of a sudden. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Depends on who you are and where you are, really. Now, this sample counter I've made earlier was just for fun. You can either make him a regular unit size, but that's a bit boring, or you could make him truly ginormous. Now, in cases where he might not quite fit the hexes you're playing to, a very simple fix is just declare, you could even mark it on your homemade counter, that the hex that a particular corner is in is the hex that he occupies, and specify the number of surrounding hexes either from that point or whichever his counter overlays. That's his zone of impact. And each turn, I would recommend just have the monster move randomly by dice roll. A simple fix here is to use the advantage of a hex, number each hex for direction, and then just roll another dice to see how far he goes. So let's say you roll a 4 and a 1. And Godzilla is there. So 4, if we go clockwise, 1, 2, 3, 4, means he's going to go that way. And if he rolls 1, then the ponderous beastie just does that. How to model him in combat? Again, keep it simple. I would say, for the purposes of any game involving this, just declare that if the counter or a designated area of hexes or anything, your choice, use your initiative, lands even in part on a unit counter of both sides, they are automatically squished. However, to give the defenders a chance, the way I'm playing it, is that if the defenders lose a certain number of counters, let's say 10, then the monster is sated. A combination of wounds and the fact that he's gorged himself on enemy troops, because when you're Godzilla, everyone's an enemy troop, has meant that he's had enough, and you can either remove him from the game at that point, or he just carries on moving towards the closest map edge to take himself back to the sea. I've only tried a full game once using this crazy nutcase rule. He didn't actually have that much effect on the battle. He did wipe out most of a Japanese division and significant parts of 2 British ones. But in the end, you know, the Brits and the Japs in reduced numbers, they really just kept out of his way and ignored him, really. He was kind of like a movable mountain. But you never know. Tweak the rules and a more dramatic result may ensue. So I'm not going to continue any more with that one. Those are just some really bare bones ideas of how you can, should you ever want to, include a big monster in your games relating to the Malaya and Singapore campaign. If you have ideas of your own, please do share them. There, I've said it now. Pandora's box is open. Let me know how those games went. I would be kind of morbidly fascinated to know. And above all, have fun. Thank you very much for listening. Of course, if you'd like me to be a tiny bit more serious about what I do, then please say so. Just type in the comments, Andrew, that was a complete and utter waste of time, and that was not even funny. Don't do it again, and I shall attempt to comply. But anyway, there's me, and I suppose young Godzilla there, signing off on this one. As ever, thank you very much for your company, and thank you for tuning in. Bye!